Here I'm going to show you how to solve some basic algebra equations. In part 1 we showed you how to set up the problem. Now that you have the problem set up, now it's time to actually solve for the variable. And so the whole idea behind this is to get the variable on one side of the equation and numbers on the other side. So for example, if your variable is x that you're solving for, in the end you want it to say x equals something. So this is what we're driving towards, is getting the x on one side of the equation by itself. So let's say we had a problem, x plus 5 equals 8. So you might be able to do this one in your head, right? What plus 5 is going to give you 8? Well, we know the answer is 3. But algebraically, how you want to do this is you need, again, you want to get x by itself. So you need to get rid of this 5 because we want the equation to say x equals something. Well, so that means we have to get rid of the 5. So how do you get rid of that 5? Well, here you see that we're adding 5. So to get rid of it, you do the opposite. So the opposite of addition is subtraction. So all we're going to do is subtract 5. Now if we subtract 5 on one side of the equation, we have to subtract 5 on the other side of the equation in order to keep them equal. If you think about two people who weigh the same, right? They have equal weight. If one of them loses 5 pounds, then in order to stay equal, the other person's going to have to lose 5 pounds as well. Otherwise, they won't be equal anymore. So that's the same here. If you do something on one side of the equation, you have to do the same thing on the other side of the equation in order to keep them equal. So here, we did the opposite of addition, we did subtraction. So 5 minus 5 is now 0. So we got rid of that. 8 minus 5 is 3. So the solution is x equals 3. If you plug 3 into x, you get 3 plus 5, and that equals 8. So that's right. So we know we have the right answer. Let's say you have x minus 12 equals 4. Again, we want to get x on one side of the equation by itself, numbers on the other side. Here we have subtraction, minus 12. So how do we get rid of that? We do the opposite. The opposite of subtraction is addition. So we're going to simply add 12. Remember, if you add 12 on one side of the equation, you have to add 12 on the other side of the equation in order to keep them equal. So minus 12 plus 12 is 0. That's the whole reason we did the plus 12, is to make that 0. 4 plus 12 is 16. So the answer here is x equals 16. If you plug 16 in for x, 16 minus 12 is 4. That's what we had. So we know that our answer is correct. So again, you're just doing the opposite. If this is subtraction, to get rid of this number, you're going to add it. If it was addition, to get rid of it, you're going to subtract it. So now let's say we have multiplication. 3x, which, if you remember, is 3 times x. When you see a number and a letter written beside each other, that means multiplication. So this is 3 times x equals 15. So we want to get rid of the 3 because, again, we want the x to be by itself. So how are we going to get rid of this 3? Well, again, this is multiplication, 3 times x. So we do the opposite. What's the opposite of multiplication? It's division. So we're going to divide by 3. If we divide by 3 on one side, we have to divide by 3 on the other side. So this is going to cancel out. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So really we have 1x. We don't normally write the 1. We just write it as x. 15 divided by 3 is 5. Again, if we would plug this back in for that, 3 times 5 is 15. So that checks out. Now let's say we have a division. Let's say we have x divided by 4 equals 8. So here we have a division. X divided by 4. What's the opposite of division? Multiplication. So to get rid of this 4, we're going to multiply by 4. If we multiply by 4 on one side, we have to multiply by 4 on the other side. So these two things are going to cancel out because it's 4 divided by 4 essentially. We're left with x equals 8 times 4 is 32. So x equals 32 is the answer. If you plug 32 into there, 32 divided by 4 is 8. That checks out. So now let's do some examples where we're going to combine a couple of these concepts. Let's say we have 2x plus 4 equals 14. So again, we want to get x on one side of the equation by itself, the numbers on the other side of the equation. In general, when you're trying to decide what to do first, you want to get rid of the numbers that are not touching the x. So for example, I call this touching. 2 times x, it's touching the x. This one isn't, it's away from the x. So you want to get rid of this first. So this is just going to be a multi-step process following the same rules we just did. So we want to get rid of the 4. Well, it's adding 4, so what's the opposite of addition? Is subtraction. So we're going to subtract 4. If you subtract 4 from one side, you have to subtract 4 from the other side. 4 minus 4 is 0, so we got rid of that. So we're just left with 2x equals 14 minus 4 is 10. So now we have 2 times x, 2x equals 10. So we still need to get rid of this 2. This is multiplication, so how do we get rid of that 2? The opposite of multiplication is division, so we're going to divide by 2. If you divide one side by 2, you have to divide the other side by 2. These two cancel out to 1, so you're left with x equals 10 divided by 2 is 5. So that's your answer. And if you plug that in, 2 times 5 plus 4, 2 times 5 is 10 plus 4 equals 14. So that's the right answer. We'll do one more. We have 3x divided by 4 minus 8 equals negative 5. So again, these are what I call touching x, the 3 and the 4. So you want to get rid of this one first. So this is minus 8. How do we get rid of minus 8? You do the opposite. You add 8. So we have 3x divided by 4 minus 8 plus 8 equals negative 5 plus 8, because we have to do it on both sides. Minus 8 plus 8 is just 0. So we have 3x divided by 4 equals minus 5 plus 8 is 3. So now we have a 3 and a 4 touching the x, so it really doesn't matter which one you do first. To me, it makes more sense to get rid of the 4 first. So here we have it's dividing by 4. So to get rid of it, we're going to do the opposite. We're going to multiply by 4. 4 times 3x divided by 4 equals 3 times 4. Because if you multiply by 4 on one side, you have to multiply by 4 on the other side. These two things are going to cancel out. And you're left with 3x equals 3 times 4 is 12. So now we still need to get rid of this 3 because we want x by itself. So this is 3 times x. In order to get rid of that, you're going to divide by 3. If you divide one side by 3, you have to divide the other side by 3. So you're going to end up with, these will cancel, x equals 12 divided by 3 is 4. So that's the answer to the problem. X equals 4. I'm going to show you one more thing. If you end up in a situation where at the end, after you've gotten rid of all the numbers, you have x squared equals something. So let's say we have, well, let's do one. We have x squared minus 8 equals 1. So we want to get rid of the 8 first. So to get rid of that, we're going to add 8 on both sides. 0, so you end up with x squared equals 9. But you don't want to know what x squared is, you want to know what x is. So if you ever end up in a situation where you have x squared, or your variable squared, the way you get rid of that is by taking the square root. So you're going to take the square root of each side. If you don't know what a square root is, you need to watch the video on roots. So the square root of x squared is x. by definition. So x equals, what's the square root of 9? 3. So that's the answer to your problem.